If you would like to make the fringe like you see here on your scarf, you're going to need a crochet hook. And it should be a medium to large one because the strands need to fit through this or fit into this part of the hook. And this is an I, which I think is going to work. I think maybe a G would work or an H. If it's too big, the head of the hook, you're going to have trouble fitting it through your stitches. So, so that's the rule there. And in order to get this look, there are a few other tools you're going to need. You're going to need something to wind the yarn around. You want to have the strands of yarn that you're working with be all about the same length. So a piece of cardboard or a little book is going to help with that. And all you do here is lay the yarn over this item that you've chosen. And this will be the approximate length of the strands that you have hanging down from your scarf. So choose your item based on that. And wind the yarn around a few times. It doesn't really matter how many times. You're just going to cut a few strands to work with. There we go. And now here's where I have an open end. That's where I started with an open end. So I'm going to cut on this side of the little book. And just take your scissors and snip across. I'll also snip this part that's attached to the ball. And now I have a few strands that are approximately the same length. I see this one is really not, so I'll just cut that down. There, good. A few strands. This sample has 2, 4, 6, 8. That means for this sample, 4 strands were used to make each fringe. I think in my case, I would rather have 3, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll just take 3 of these to start with, and I will make sure that they're more or less lined up so that they're even. Again, you need to find out which side you're looking at. This is the right side of the work. I want to be looking at the wrong side of the work, so I'll flip it over. And this group of future fringe is going to go into one of the corners. I like to do it this way. I will put a group here, and then I'll eyeball the middle. And then from there, I will eyeball the middle here, and I'll eyeball the middle here. This way you can get it evenly across. If you decide to go right to left or left to right, unless you're a very good estimator, you could end up with fringes happening kind of evenly, and then all of a sudden too close to each other or too far away from each other. So doing one side, the other side, eyeball the middle, then eyeball the middle of those, eyeball the middle of those, and then you can keep filling it in to your liking. But that'll help it be even. So for this first one, what you need to do is find the corner. And I can see it here. These happen to be my cast-on stitches that look kind of like V's going along the edge here. They're lopsided V's. And I can tell that this is the one right at the corner. The next stitch over here is definitely going up the side. So that's good. Now, what you're going to do is, this is the wrong side, remember. You're going to plunge your hook through that corner stitch, front to back. Snag your fringe pieces. Pull pretty hard against the hook. You need to give it a fair amount of tension. And then pull pretty hard on your scarf away from the hook, and also pivot the hook a little bit as you go through. And those things will all help you get all of this stuff through a fairly small hole. And then You can do this part with your fingers or with the hook, but make this opening a little bigger so that you can pull the tails all at once through the opening. And then I like to turn it back over so I'm looking at the right side, and then gently tighten it up. Don't pull too hard, and do it bit by bit so that you can get it the way you want it. If you pull too hard all at once and you decide it's too tight, it's much harder to loosen it later. So leave it kind of loose. You can always fiddle with it later if that's not looking the way you want. There's a special situation on this side with the tail from your cast-on still attached. This can become part of the fringe. I would still go with 3 of the cut pieces, but this one will have an extra strand in it because there's an extra strand hanging here. So again, find that corner, which is even easier when you've got this tail to help you decide where the corner is. Poke through. Remember, we're looking at the wrong side now. Poke through and take your strands. Try to make sure that they're pretty even here at the bottom as you do this, and remember to give a lot of tension on your strands and pull the scarf away from the hook as you go through. And then, oops, and then don't forget, like I was about to do, get your extra one into this group and pull it through with the others. And then we will gently tighten this down. And obviously this strand is longer than the others. Whoops, you can't see that. Obviously this strand is longer than the others, so we'll just snip that. There we go. And now we have these two, and I will flip it over. Got another 3 here. I want to line them up. There we go. And just eyeball the middle. The thing to remember here is to stay, just pick up or just go through right above your cast on. So when you put the hook into the work, you're just seeing these 2 strands of a V. Don't go way up in here. You want to stay right on the edge. So the hook goes through. The strands get it attached. Pull through. Pull the tails through. Turn it over and snug it up. So there we go. Oh, there's a little something else in there. There. So here's right side, left side, middle. Next one I would put right here. Then I would put one here. Once you have one here, I think I might even squeeze one in here, one in here. That would probably be enough for me. You might like it actually with just these 2 on the sides, or you might like it like this. Do whatever you want. It's your scarf.